Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are about to hop into Childfree in Asia panel. Quick thank you to our presenting sponsor, Childfree Media, our champion level sponsor, Childfree Wealth, and our other sponsors, 365 Diversity, Best Child for Life Possible Facebook group, Buy Childfree, Buy Childfree, Childfree Family, Childfree Journals, StopHavingKids.org, StreamYard, and the books The Age of the Child by Kristen Tsetsi and Wild Egg by Jennifer Flint.
So the opinions expressed within the content are solely the speakers and do not reflect the opinions and beliefs of the event or its affiliates.
All right, now that that's out of the way, let's have some fun. Hey, Isa.
Hi. Hello, good evening.
Hey, Kazane, how are you?
Hi, do you guys hear me?
Perfectly.
Yep.
Oh, great. So I'm sorry, my computer doesn't have a camera function, so I'm gonna go this way. So
That's okay. We can see your image, so
yeah.
that counts. So just tell us about yourself, and Kazane, we'll start with you.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Kazana, and I'm actually from Japan, and I've been working as a pro-choice activist. I've been working to remove spousal consent requirement for abortion and provide accurate information on usage on abortion pills, because sadly, in order for women to get abortion in Japan legally, they need to get a permission from a man who impregnated them. So that's one thing I've been working on. And also, when you type abortion pill in Japanese, there's thousands of misinformation and exaggeration that is intended to prevent women from having abortions using medication. But I understand it is difficult for most of Japanese women to get accurate information in their native language. So I've been working on translation as well. I'm happy to be a part of this show because I was just browsing my Instagram and I found this event. I was like, oh, maybe it's for me, you know. I think having an opportunity to talk with a child-free male is going to give me another perspective. So I'm excited about it. And thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Isa, tell us about yourself.
Well, initially, I would like to thank the administrative personnel and everyone who has sacrificed their time and resources in order to make this event happen. My name is Isa Al Koraba, and I am from Yemen. Yemen is a country in the Middle East, surrounded by Saudi Arabia and Oman. It's in the Arab Peninsula. So, although we are from Japan, me and Kanzani, sensei, so we are actually far apart and we might differ in cultures extremely widely. Yeah. So I moved to India to do my bachelor degree. Then I did my master degree in Malaysia. And next month I'm traveling to South Korea to do my second master degree.
Wow.
I thank you. I have always known that bringing children for me personally would be a very bad idea very long ago. However, when I came to India, I came to know there is a thing called child free, and from that time I started looking occasionally, searching here and there, and I got to know it's like you can just say, hey, screw it, you can just choose not to have kids, and it's as simple as that.
So
Yeah, that is. Yeah, go
thank you.
ahead.
So the term child free is not necessarily known throughout the world. How is it explained where you're from? So Kazane, we'll start with you.
Okay. Yes, in Japan, we have a word that is equivalent to child-free by choice, but it's not as widely spread as it is in English, but we still use the term, and we do have the word for that. But in Japanese, we do not have like any other terms such as child-free for life or stuff like that. So I think it is necessary for us to make other words that can describe different life choices, because it is very important to empower especially women who do not want to have children, by telling them it is okay to feel the way they feel, I think it is very important for us to have words or ways to speak out. Thank you.
Isa, go ahead.
Yeah, child free, like linguistically speaking, obviously it wouldn't be available since we speak the Arabic language. So, but like the meaning of it, the child free term does not exist at all. That doesn't mean there are people who are childless. There are some people who do not have children, very few, for medical reasoning or for mainly medical reasons, like they could not, and those people are actually feeling, they are feeling disappointed. They do all what they can, they invest all their resources, they make it their life's work to try to get this child by any means, even if they have to borrow money and travel abroad for medication. So when it comes to child free, being child free or the child free term itself is non-existential. Like it does not exist at all. People look at those people who are childless and feel sorry for them since they do not have children. And the ones who are childless actually feel the same thing. They feel like they do not fit within the society since they are being deprived from the pleasure of having kids.
I think those
Yeah,
bring
thank
up,
you.
yeah, those bring up great points. Just because, I mean, this is we're all international. We're all located somewhere else in the world, different languages, different backgrounds, and yeah, the term child free, it's becoming more popular, and that might be why there are pockets throughout the world where we don't see an active child free community and lifestyle happening, because they just haven't found the term, and it's hard to find people like you if you don't know what to kind of look up or how to find others.
Exactly. Correct. So, like in Yemen or in the Arab Peninsula, generally there is no use in English. Even in school, we study in Arabic. English as a second language elective if you would like to, but it is not necessarily commonly used. You could find people who are specialized in linguistic studies, different languages. So but the anyhow, whatever idea you would like to express in any language, the same idea would be expressed in a different language, but it would still get the same concept. Once you learn both languages, you can actually translate. So when you say the meaning of child free, that is choosing not to have kids from your own, voluntarily choosing not to have kids, that idea is still not yet there. That is my point. So it has not arrived. You got me.
And
I feel
so
kind of a battle we have here in North America too. Not to the same extent, obviously, but even with the terms, people are still confused by the term child free in English. It's still new. Like if I go and say, I'm a child free lifestyle advocate, people go, huh? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So the term, I feel, is still it's a lot of work to be done to get the term child free understood. Not even the concept of what it means. It's just the term itself being used. We have a ways to go with that.
And so what is the child free community like where you're from, Kazane?
Well, so actually it is hard to tell, but many feminists and activists are choosing not to have children from the perspective of patriarchy and male dominance in Japan. But the thing is, Japan is known for its peer pressure. So there is an atmosphere that you have to go as the same way as everyone goes. So yes, people can choose not to have children, but usually they are not vocal about it. Whenever someone say, "Oh, when you're gonna have kids," or "Are you going to have babies?" and they just chuckles, like they just avoid judgment or confusion, so they just remain silent. But I think it is important for us to be vocal about it, because by speaking out and saying, "No, I'm not gonna have children," it empowers women, and by telling them what we want and how we want to live, empower other people in the community, and tell them that we have other choices as well. So I think it is important for us to speak out and do not worry about what other people are doing, or do not worry about peer pressure too much. We can still have choices, and I think it is one of my duty to tell them it is okay for them to have choices. Thank you.
Thank you. It's the same question. What's it like in the child-free community? Since you're kind of bouncing around, what's it like in both places?
Exactly. So, like, actually, you would understand the answer, right? Since I have told you about the term itself. So, the child community would mean like people who have a similar mindset or they agree on the same ideology will gather together and have some occasional activities, or they can actually discuss their ideology publicly without being pressured or uh, concealed, or without being afraid or threatened. That kind of community is absolutely, unfortunately, does not exist as well. So, like, having such a community in Yemen, or most probably in Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, that is the Arab Peninsula, that countries, around 11 countries together in the Middle East, is still not yet to come. It is not yet. It has still got a long way. In fact, at the moment, it is not tangible. It might be there, but it's absolutely not on the surface. Yeah. So in short, like, uh, when it comes to community, in the Middle East, community that represents child-free people is not there yet, and there are reasons. Actually, I would come to explain later for how this kind of community cannot even be built, neither legally nor religiously. So, like, for now, I would actually tell you these kind of communities are not yet available. So if the term itself is not available, how would it come to have a community that share the same ideology, or they agree on the same concept?
Yeah.
Well, this is
Exactly.
going to be an interesting question to segue into then, because how would you summarize being child free? What's it like for
That's
you?
it.
Right? Like in every aspect of your life. How do you summarize that in your part of the world? So we'll start with Kazane, and then we'll go to Isa.
Yes.
Okay, so for me, this is something I always knew since I was a little child, and I knew that I was not gonna have kids from a very early age, maybe like 4 or 5. And my heart always knew what I wanted to do in my life. But the education was totally against me, because I'm not sure how it's like in other countries, but in Japan, when when girls start menstruating, they basically tell us our bodies have started preparing for motherhood, whether we like it or not. So that's something I was like, what the fuck? And for the very first time, because I knew it was not so it was like around 2008 or 2007. But so there's no words such as LGBT or stuff like that in Japan at that time. But I knew that people can choose different lives and the way they like. So I think it is very weird and long for education to put one perspective and tell young girls that they're going to do something. It makes them feel like they have no other choices. So that's something I always knew. I was like, and I always feel like my lifestyle and my preference are threatened by the country and conservatives. So um, I try to make it safe for women and everyone to choose the way they like, and I try to make this country a better place for women and other people in child-free community to safely choose the way they like and how they want to live and stuff like that. Yeah.
Isa, go ahead.
Yeah, to summarize it, right? Well, I would be honest. Like, to be honest, it is being child free in Yemen or in the Middle East is the worst idea you could ever come up with. And I will tell you why. There are three main reasons why it could be the worst idea. Well, like, from the culture aspect, the Yemen society They are proud of having many children. They want to have 11 children, 12 children, 13 children. Like you, I think if you have heard about the Muslim, generally Arabs specifically, they like to have big families. So they are proud of how many children they have. You can easily find a person with 11 children, 8 children, 9 children. A small family is considered a one who has 6 children to 5 children. This is considered small family. So
Wow.
like
Jeez.
exactly, culturally it is planted in their mind that it is better always to have kids, more kids. In fact, they feel more proud if if they have son. If they have son, it's like wow, they won the jackpot. Like it's amazing. It's like the people would actually answer ridiculously, like if I have like 8 sons, and by the time they are old enough, they will, if they can just bring me $100 a month, and that is $800 a month I'm making, and I'm sitting at home, I'm like a boss. Like it is a comfortable life. That means they, they value it, like they think of it as it's a treasure. Once you have more kids, it's just like you got backup. If you have a fight, if you have financial difficulties, if you have whatever, like they are there for you. These are your minions. Exactly. So
Yeah.
culturally, it is actually encouraged. It's loved to have kids. People grow up with this kind of mentality where it is great idea to have more children. Especially you are more even blessed if you have boys. And the second thing is, like, let's say if you did consider to choose to have a child-free lifestyle, okay. The second point will come marriage. In Yemen, generally, it goes, there is no sexual intercourse before marriage. It is, in Islamic terms, the term halal, which means permissible, and haram, it means not permissible. These two terms, like I think everyone must be familiar with halal and haram. Halal is permissible, haram is not permissible. So Islamically, having a sexual intercourse with anyone before marriage is considered haram. That is not permissible, it's prohibited. So generally speaking, you are to get married and then you are to have children. That is how it is usually works. So if a person say, I would like to be a child free and I'm not going to have children, I will just get married and stay happy with my wife forever. There is certainty that he will never get married, because first of all, the family of the girl will definitely never even allow him to reach to talk to the girl what his idea is. You will be refused from the get-go. Like it is like, if you are not going to have kids, what do you want to do with my girl? You just get lost. Of course, nobody, even if the person does believe that you should not have kids, nobody will actually have the audacity to go and tell the man, I'm going to get, I would like to marry your daughter, but I'm not planning to have kids. It's like, it is ridiculous. They will slap you in the face. like so if you are a person in Yemen who is thinking, okay, I'm going to be a child free and get married and have a happy life in Yemen, that is out of the question. Don't even bother. You will only humiliate yourself. So you most likely will not get married. That is, in fact, it's a definite. The third thing is religion. Religion is absolutely, it is against this idea of of not having kids actually, and it is like, how do I tell you? And in short, because this question will come later, in short, religion explicitly supports the idea of having kids. Like it encourages kids having kids. And the second one is, it goes all means that are available now for preventing having kids. So when it comes to religion, and when we say religion, people there are religious, more than 99%. That's almost 100%. We can't say 100% because we don't know everyone, but practically speaking, everyone you will find is a Muslim. And those kind of people, they take their religion literally. So there we have two types when it comes to legally and religious. So you could almost say the legal things are religious things and the religious things are legal, because there is something called Sharia law, that is the religion law, whatever is prescribed in the religion has to be implemented by the court. So if you got an order from the court, it is actually according to what the script in the Islamic religion says. You got me? So Islam, in short, does not. It is very pro-natalist and does not support the idea in any shape or form where you go otherwise.
Yeah, so Issa, you brought up some
That
great
is
points about some great points about religion. So Kazane, how about in Japan? How does religion play a role in the pronatalism in Japan?
Well, so as you guys probably know, Japan is one of the most non-religious countries. So we are not raised based on the idea of religion. It is almost non-existent among Japanese people. So I don't think we are affected by religious aspect at all. But there is like I said, there's a problem with peer pressure, and also Japan has this political party called Liberal Democratic Party, the most powerful politics party in Japan. It's been labeled that they are very conservative, and it's been labeled that they have ties with this religious cult that are against that is against same-sex marriage, abortion, and women's rights as well. So the policy of Japan does not always reflect the view of Japanese people, but since the most powerful politicians have strong ties with this religious cult, that's why Japan is moving very slow towards humanity and democracy. But I hope all the past will be cleaned up through media coverage, because now we know that politicians we used to think who are working for us has had a cult connection with religious cult and very unhealthy ties with such antisocial religious cult. Now we are aware of what's really going on. So I hope we can just move forward for democracy after finding out the problem behind the diet. So yes, that's all.
You stole my question. I was going to say, let's segue right into religion. It's good moderating when you can read each other's minds.
All right. Well, like, see, I could definitely say religion is the driving force behind having many children in the Middle East and in Yemen in particular. Because now, one of the main reasons for some child-free people choosing to be child-free is the financial concern. Now, in the Quran, there is a verse that says, "We provide for them and you." So it is like you do not need to worry when it comes to the financial aspect for the unborn children, and you just go ahead, have your baby, and we'll take care of the rest. Because we are the ones who, that is God. God is the one who is taking care, who is giving provision for the children, unborn children, and the ones who are existing currently. The second one is like abortion. Abortion is not permissible. That is haram in Islam. So like obviously it will be legally not possible. It's illegal thing. Like if a woman in her first trimester decided to go to the hospital and choose to abort this child, it is not possible. The hospital is legally not allowed to facilitate for this woman to abort the child. However, there are some, out of ordinary exceptions where the life of a woman is at risk, but that is not what we are talking about. We are talking about a person who's choosing to be child free and they just decided they don't want this child. That cannot happen, not legally nor religiously. The third point is permanent sterilization, like a vasectomy or tubal ligation. So these two is obviously haram. That is not permissible. They are prohibited. So a man choosing to have a vasectomy or any act that would eventually lead to a permanent sterilization is haram. That is not permissible. So You cannot go in Yemen and go to a hospital, even if you are 50 years old, 60 years old. You can't go to a hospital and say, okay, I would like to have a vasectomy. It's not allowed. And similarly, in the whole Middle East countries, actually. So when it comes to permanent sterilization, it's a period, like it's illegal. It is not permissible. And the fourth point is I would go extreme, but it is not directly because of being child free. It is related, which is death penalty that is from religion. How it can happen? This one. Now, if you choose to be a child free, obviously you have your own way of thinking, you have a logic that sounds well to your mind, and when debating with these kind of people, they would tell you you need not to worry about the finance. Let's say take the finance as an aspect. You need not to worry about the finance because God is going to take care of your children. It's not your responsibility. God's already taking care of you and your children, so you need not to worry. You would answer something as simple as, there are many families I can see in my life with so many children who are actually miserable. They are suffering too much. Why God did not help them? So when you start this kind of conversations and you start questioning the faith, why God, why this, why that, it will give them the impression that you are becoming a blasphemer. And if they manage to put,
Sorry, I'm just
yeah,
going to interrupt because we have to start wrapping up the panel. I just want to check for incoming
sure.
questions, but I wanted to throw it to Kazane for a second because what Isa is sharing, this is very much what you are advocating for in Japan, and there's a lot of similarities. So can you spend a minute and quickly share with us what you are hearing that resonates with you and is similar to your experience in Japan?
Well, so in Japan, usually law itself is very ambiguous, and it is very unlikely that women are prosecuted for having or inducing abortions because, as one of the countries among G7, they are worried about how they could be perceived by other countries. So they're not gonna persecute or attack women, but this law stipulate that women need to get permission from men to get abortion legally, and we can also do forgery, and it's not going to be prosecuted either. But this is something they criminalize women for having abortions without male consent, and they also penalize women inducing abortion by themselves. So that's something I've been fighting for. Also, I'd like to talk about sterilization as well. So in Japan, there is a law called maternal body protection law. So if you are a woman in Japan, you are considered as a future incubator, future mother, whatever it calls. So if you are child free and if you prefer getting sterilized, that's not an option. So basically, the hospitals and law tell you to have babies, like maybe a few babies for the country. I don't know for who, I mean for the country or for men, for example, and then come back. So for child-free women in Japan, the choice of having their tubes tied is not an option. So that's why it's very hard right now. So I don't want to lie about my life preference because I think it is the way for them to make women feel bad about their choices. So I don't need to tell lie about okay, I already have 2 babies, so I can do that. So I don't have to tell lie about it because it's wrong. I should be able to do that without anyone's consent or under any circumstances because it's something I want. But since it's difficult for me, I really want to find a doctor who can respect my privacy and my bodily autonomy. So I've been trying to do that in the US instead because I don't think Japan can do that for me. I wish I could have done that in the country I was born and raised, but unfortunately, I don't think it's possible. So yeah, but I think it is important because I know like some women who decided to choose this kind of surgery outside the country, but since there was stigma about it, they have not been vocal about it. So once I have it done, I will definitely be vocal about it and tell women that this is their choice as well, because it is very important for them to know what their rights are. And we are not future mothers, or we are not future mothers, or we are not future incubator for men or the country. So that's something I would like to tell them.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. And so, man, I wish we had more time, but the great thing is we can always come back to this topic in the future. Kazane, Isa, thank you very much for your time. Is there anything that you guys want to plug that you're working on, or?
Yes, so actually I launched a petition to remove the spousal consent in Japan, and I also have a Twitter to promote information on safe abortion, medication use on abortion as well. It is mostly in Japanese, but my Twitter account is Let Women Decide. So if you're interested, please follow me and I will get back to you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kazane. Isa, anything for you? People to reach out to you?
Yes, I actually would ask you for an advice. Given being a child-free publicly in Yemen is not possible, so I actually could think of three solutions for a male person. Okay, first one is either immigration to a country which is child-free friendly. Second one is you just go with the stream and then try to convince your wife later on to be a child-free.
Good luck.
The third one is the third one is to actually have a vasectomy before getting married and keep it a secret, and you be the bad person. And I need your advice if you have other solutions or what to go for.
And it's crazy to think that life has to be that way right now. But thank you both for your time. We appreciate all the insight you've given us. Even though we're in different places in the world, I heard a lot of similarities to even what we have here in North America. So thank you both for your time, and we'll be in touch later.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take